inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, Auguste Crenshaw, a.k.a. Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey, everybody. This is the last podcast episode of 2020, and I figured that I need to go out with a bang. And the theme word for this episode is change. Oh my goodness. Not only do we have to change, those of you who try to stay stubborn, it's just inevitable, right? Things do change. But there are certain changes that we can intentionally avoid. And I want to talk about some of those. I was listening to 50 Cent's book, and one of the things he said was that when people say money doesn't change you, he said, I believe that that's because that person hasn't made enough of it yet. And I want to be really honest with you. If I had heard those words 5 or 10 years ago, I would have been like, money don't change anybody. And think about it. A lot of us, you believe that because you'll say, oh, money doesn't make you good or bad. It just illuminates who you already are. But those are two exclusively different statements. We're talking about what changes in you. And so as I think about how I've grown in this industry as a leader financially, my thought processes, my creativity, there are a lot of rules to my own game that have changed. And so we're ever evolving people. And I can honestly tell you that even though, for instance, I make a lot of products and services that are aimed at quote unquote helping my people, I can honestly say that there are some parts of me that have changed, like my tolerance for behavior with individuals, because on one hand, while I'm very sensitive to the huge disparities that we suffer as Black people, I also am not one who's inclined to accept excuses. So I don't know what this looks like for you, but you know what? Some of you, you're going to have some people in your life that are going to say, yo, you're changing. And you know what? You are changing. And it's not really because of the money alone, is because of your experiences. I remember when I first started, I wanted to take everybody with me. I was, thinking in my mind, and, my mother-in-law, she could come and be like the in-house nanny. I was already perceiving, how this would work for everyone to be a part of this vision that I had, and the amount of money I was going to make, and how I could open doors for so many people. And I can honestly tell you that 99% of those people who I thought about they are no longer part of the mission. But then I got busy and I started moving and I started collaborating and doing summits, and people would come around me and they would love my energy. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't include, some of my family members and friends from wherever because they didn't have the entrepreneurial spirit. But, now I'm down with some other hustlers. And then I had to realize that these people didn't even have the same hustle as me. They were attracted to my energy. And when I didn't have anything, I had the spirit that sold the fact that I was a force to be reckoned with in these online streets, and I was struggling to find clients, but people couldn't tell because of the way that I presented myself. And so after a while, you know what? Things changed, and I was like, it's not enough to, pat me on the back, tell me how much you like me, how you see my vision, and tell me about the things that you've done. I started having pre-qualification processes, and I stopped allowing people to quote unquote try to get too close to me and become business besties so quickly. And so now I just don't move, and I don't do things the same way. Matter of fact, I have a good friend. One of the beautiful things about being here in Atlanta is I actually have quite a few clients that are here. And I even recently had a friend that was like, oh, we should get together and we should do work days together, and it could look like this and look like that. And you know what? Literally just 3 years ago, that was a great idea. We could get together and we could focus. That would have worked back then, but it won't work right now. My discipline and the time frame in which I wake up and what I have set out to do, the more laser focused I am, the time frames of when my clients can call, I don't just have random hours the way that I used to in the middle of the day for us to, sit and have work time, on a consistent basis. It's like, so what, we're going to have to keep on sending you in another room so you don't hear the proprietary information, when I'm speaking with a client, or even there's some things that I'm working on. And even though I share a lot of things with a lot of people, my office is my sanctuary. I've got whiteboards everywhere with all kind of game plans and strategies and stuff that I wouldn't dare let anybody else see. And it has nothing to do with trust. It's just the way you have to move with some things. Some things just aren't other people's business. And so my availability has changed. And the list just keeps going on and on. And some of you, you're afraid to do that. You're afraid to say, I don't want to hang around people anymore if their standards are like this. I'm only going to be around individuals who think or move like this. And you know what? If you're afraid to look at how things have changed in your life and how your standards have changed in your life, you're going to hold yourself back. So there's just certain things that I won't do anymore. Like, here's one. And I know I got a lot of white people that listen to me in addition to black people. But guess what? I will go on anyone's platform. You know why? Because I love it. I totally love it. You put me on your podcast, I'm going to rock that shit. You have me in your summit, I'm going to give the best I've got to give. And that's always going to be great. Because at the end of the day, success strategies are neither black, white, Chinese, or whatever. The principles are the principles. But you know what I will not do anymore? Is I will not give an opt-in whenever I'm in front of a white audience ever again. Oh my God, August, that's like suicide. Why would you do that? No. At white events, black people go there. But I can honestly tell you, while even during my time online, I have had Hispanic, Asian, white, black, male, female, older adult, and millennial clients. What I can tell you is that 99.9% of white people only hop on my list. They never complete their work, or when they get through doing it, they don't respond to anything else. They get what they want and then they go. So if I go on to someone's podcast or their summit and I'm like, damn, she was dope, the only thing I have to offer is a strategy session. Like, seriously, like straight up. But where did I come to that conclusion? And somebody might be like, no, August, that's bad for business. Hey, y'all listening? And you know the truth? So it's no different than I said before that some people are attracted to my energy and say they want to collab on my events when in all actuality, they're attracted to the platform. And so they'll say anything to be on it. And it's the same thing, so stuff has changed with me. Everybody has a different, mindset. Some of you don't like being branded as the individual who serves the Black community because you feel like it boxes you in. And some of us, we want to be known that that's exactly what it is that we do. That doesn't mean that someone else of another race would never hire me or another company would not want my expertise. But at least if they heard this podcast, they're going to be like, oh, we probably shouldn't talk to her unless we can exhibit the right type of behavior. I won't say what that is and what that looks like. That would make her say, yes, I will partner with her. But where does that come from? That's not emotional, you guys. It's not me feeling resentful. It's just an observation. And I know you want to know why, because when I attend you guys' events and I speak at your events, I am then able to see who's tapping in, who's getting what. I have Black people follow me from other events and like, I saw you and it was no question. You had an event and I had to buy it. I have white people come to me. Oh my God, I just love your event. Is it okay if white people come too? I really want to participate. And I'll be like, look, if you're down with the movement, you're down for the change, by all means, come on in. And then they come on in. And if they knew one speaker, they only listen to that one interview. They don't really get involved. They don't engage. They don't talk. And it's like, are you serious? You talk like you like really down for the movement and really down for collective consciousness. You got what you were looking for and then you went silent. And if it wasn't for the fact that I'm a connector or that I did other things, I would probably, be blaming myself and saying, oh, what can I do, to heighten the experience or whatever. So it's just an observation and it's cool. But, do that cool, on your side, so you're going to change, you guys. There are things that you said you were going to do that you're not going to want to do them for people because you're going to realize that they don't have the same hustle muscle as you. There are a lot of people I want to, quote unquote, take on the journey with me to wherever it is that I'm going. But when I look at them and their mentality towards work and the energy that they put in, I'm like, nah, because what happens is that people don't realize how much work you've actually done. People will see you and they'll be like, oh my God, how many people did you get to sign up for your event? Oh my God, how many tickets did you sell? Oh my God, how many downloads do you have on your podcast? But you all weren't there when radical things were done, like doing a podcast every day for the first 90 days. You weren't there when all the years were going by and it was like, I have a significant amount of downloads, but what can I do to break through the stratosphere to get triple digit downloads, every single day? They weren't there when you were spending money on Facebook ads and it was a bust and you weren't getting a return, or when you were sending out emails and you're like, what in the world can I do to finally get someone to open them? I've listened to all the gurus, because you'll do the work and you'll implement stuff. Where were they at when you were embarrassed, when technology fell apart and you thought that your whole live event, your online event was going to tank because the experience wasn't exactly what you thought it would be? Where were they at when you tried implementing new tools and resources and the user experience wasn't that good and people were complaining, or if they weren't requesting refunds, they were definitely making you feel like shit because you didn't make the experience as grand as it could be? Where were they at? What TV shows were they watching when you were cranking out your fingers and you were pushing out content? Where were they when you were studying and reading and doing whatever it is that you did to get to the point that you are? And when you look at them in all of their leisure, it's like, no, you don't participate in the war. You don't get any of the spoils. And so going into 2021, if nothing else has changed in you after 2020, something should have changed in you to say, I have got to be the master. I've got to be the captain at sea of my own life. And then I'm going to have to do whatever the hell it takes to make sure that I'm not behind the dime anymore. I need to be in the front. I need to be on it. You know what I'm saying? But definitely not behind it. There are so many things that we could be doing right now that a lot of us are not. And you want to know why? Because we were contemplating. Well, I'm saying we, but I ain't trying to be funny. If I see something, I just jump out there and do that shit. But you know me, I have a tendency to, speak in terms of we. But you know what I'm talking about. You've looked at things, you've debated, you've waited. maybe it's not really what you want to do. Hell, there's so much shit I've done that I don't necessarily really want to do, but I know what I want at the end of the journey, that I'll just do whatever. So there are things, I was sitting down going over my money before I recorded this podcast. It's on a Sunday afternoon, going through all of my money, making sure that I'm marking down everything that I've, making sure I got a tally for all of my expenses and for my income in the month of, good God, in November. So that I could put it on my spreadsheet. So when I get ready to file my taxes, my numbers are sitting right there in front of my damn face. Well, how about I just get excited about looking at the amount of revenue that I drew in this year despite the pandemic? You got to find an angle. You got to celebrate everything. You've got to get excited about some shit. And so many of you better change your tenacity. You better change your drive. You better change your work ethic. Because I'm tired of this lazy mentality of, oh my God, I'm just going to self-care my way to success. Sure, take care of yourself. Take naps. Make sure you get adequate rest. But otherwise, you get your ass up. You get out there and you work. Because it's not over, you guys. 2020 is over. 2021, the door is about to open wide open to a new era, and you're either going to be ready or you're not. And so for me, what has changed is realizing a lot of people are going to be left behind. So you don't have to feel bad about changing. As long as you're changing for the better and you're evolving, and you don't have to feel bad about the people that you're connected to that are not changing at all. But what you do have to do is take responsibility for the fact that you need to navigate and police those relationships accordingly. See, I didn't even tell you had to stop fucking with people, which that might be one of the things you need to do. But that's neither here or there. That's not for me to judge. And so I understand who I am and what I'm worth. And even going into 2021, there are personal relationships that I have already said, nope. There are some people I've said, nope, I appreciate you. I understand that you were doing your best, I guess, to create some kind of relationship with me. But what you're willing to do and what I want is not lining up. And so you're a great person, but you're not great for me. So whether it's personal, spiritual, professional, embrace your change, okay? Embrace your change going into 2021. For those of you that celebrate, Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Oh, and by the way, yesterday was my birthday. Hey. So in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to get out of here. Please know that you do still have time to sign up for the Capture Your Clients with Live Video workshop, which is a 5-week workshop. We don't start until January the 4th. And the tickets for the summit are still available for you to get the replays and get that workbook. It's only $97. How about you change something and maybe spend your last moments in this new year setting yourself up for success in 2021. All right, I'm outie. Deuces.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomen.bitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.